But I'm not super into her Twisted design very much. No disrespect to the creators, it's just my honest opinion. But hey, it's definitely scary and that's the point of Twisteds, so it for sure gets the job done. Twisted Cole also has a very high attention span, being 8, nearly as high as Ginger's. By default, Cole is a rather normal speed and isn't insanely difficult to get away from, but she really becomes a problem during Blackout. This is the only Twisted to have their stats change in Blackout, as when you come across Cole on a Blackout floor, she has the same speed as Pebble, which is really bad. Meanwhile, Pebble's attention span is only 4 seconds, which is high, but Cole's is double that, which actually makes her more dangerous than Pebble on Blackouts. And on top of that, she doesn't have footsteps like Pebble does, so you never know where she is. She's extremely fast and very hard to shake off. Me and my friends have ran around entire maps and still could not escape her. Many people in the Dandy's World fandom have called her an unfair version of Pebble, and honestly, like, her speed changing in Blackout is a very cool concept for a Twisted, but her attention span I feel makes her a bit overpowered. But Cole's trinket is pretty funny. It's a lump of coal that makes most of your stats just worse. It's even worse than Shrimpo's brick trinket. Now I gotta do a Shrimpo run with this. For Cole's human design, I was trying to keep those cute eyebrows and angry face, and she's wearing a long gray winter cloak with, of course, a lump of coal in the middle with a bow. It turns those bags on her head into actual earmuffs with candy cane ribbons. And she's also wearing a cute candy cane scarf. Here is human Cole.
Looking for something real? Shopee Mall has you covered. Shop 100% authentic items or get 3 times your money back. Your favorites just a tap away. Download Shopee now.
Lastly on this list of holiday tunes, we've got Rudy. Rudy the reindeer appears as a deer with the candy cane antlers and a red nose. A big tuft of fur can also be seen around his neck, and the big smile on his face can tell you everything about Rudy, as he's very optimistic and loves everything about Christmas. He loves Christmas so much to the point where it's kind of his whole personality. No, I'm not kidding. Literally every single dialogue is Rudy raving about Christmas, oftentimes weirding out the other tunes in the process. Even Bobette could not match Rudy's festiveness. And that's a lot considering she is a Christmas ball. Rudy has decent stats all around, with everything being 3 stars, making him a good all-rounder toon and more of a survivalist with his ability, which allows Rudy to quickly charge forward in a short burst, increasing his movement speed, which works in a pinch when trying to get away from Twisteds, especially if you're out of stamina. It's similar to Poppy, but he's able to activate it whenever. Rudy is also special in Blackouts, as similar to Brightney, Rudy's red nose will glow in the dark, making it easier to see. I think something that would have been extra cool for an active ability would have been a jump and dash, allowing Rudy to shortly fly over Twisteds like a magical reindeer. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Twisted Rudy is one of the most common Twisteds, his eyes being red with tears of ichor. His left antler is much larger and completely covered in ichor, while the other is snapped off. His legs are also covered, and his nose is glowing bright red. When he spots you, he becomes angry with a sinister smile, and proceeds to charge forward with his antlers. While this Twisted doesn't have any special abilities, it does help that he glows because it makes it easy to know where he is on the map, giving you more time to hide, just like Brightney but without the speed. So I'd say he's one of the easiest Twisteds to avoid in the game. For Rudy's human form, I went for a cutesy innocent vibe because he's just a silly guy who loves Christmas. He's wearing a candy cane striped sweater to match his candy cane antlers, and over that is a pair of overalls. His neck fluff really reminded me of a bandana, so I drew one around his neck. I know his most defining feature is his red nose, but as we all know, I don't draw noses, so instead, he has some very bright red rosy cheeks. Just imagine his entire face glows in the dark, and his hair is fluffy just like his ears. Here is human Rudy. First up on this list is Toodles. Toodles appears as a small girl with an 8-ball for a head, along with a white hoodie dress. Just like the number on her head, Toodles is 8 years old, making her the youngest and only minor toon so far in Dandy's World. Yep, that means all these other characters are adults. Being a kid, she's very energetic and always excited to go on adventures with the other toons. She especially looks up to Roger, always wanting to help Roger with his detective cases, further showing her curiosity like many kids would, insisting she goes along with him even if he says no at first. It's actually confirmed by Quell that, while they aren't related, Roger is a father figure to Toodles, which I love and is so cute. I mean, she literally has a detective skin to match with Roger. How cute is that? It's the best thing ever. She must be protected at all costs. Her stats are average, with having 4-star stealth, likely in reference to how small she is. But unfortunately, her extraction speed is rather slow. Her ability, Beginner's Luck, grants her a 15% boost to a random stat that lasts for 10 seconds, and has a cooldown of 25. This actually made me enjoy playing Toodles a lot. It was fun being able to use her ability so frequently, even if I did only buy her to get pebbles. Twisted Toodles, on the other hand, is not not so innocent. She appears with her head not broken open, revealing ichor inside and leaking out. Her eyes are bloodshot red, along with a very wide and unnerving smile and very sharp fangs. Ichor can be seen dripping from her mouth, and also on her arms and legs. When she chases you, she crawls towards you fast, like a baby on crack. She's definitely one of the scariest Twisteds. Not only does she look like a crazy iPad kid, or as many say, ankle biter, but what's even scarier is her insane speed. If you're a slow toon, you'll have a pretty hard time getting away from her, especially during panic mode. Despite only being an uncommon Twisted, she's one of the fastest in the game. Luckily, she does have a below average attention span, so usually you can get her off you pretty quickly. But if she catches you in a wide open space, good luck. Fun fact, Twisted Toodles used to be the second fastest Twisted in the game, right behind Pebble, but was put in 3rd place after Twisted Glisten came along, and now she's in 4th place behind Twisted Bobette. I especially hate getting Twisted Toodles in Blackout. Girl, I can't even see you when you're right behind me. Anyways, Toodles is so precious, and she's one of my favorite toons. For her human design, I gave her an afro puff hairstyle, as well as a white streak in her hair to resemble that white circle on her forehead. I also included some cute 8-ball hair accessories and a number 8 hair clip. I kept that hoodie dress mostly the same, and to pair with it, she's wearing some baggy arm warmers that cover her hands because she's so small. And to top it off, she's holding her cute dog plush. Here is Human Toodles. Whatever you do, don't take her iPad away. Up next, we've got Finn. Finn the fishbowl has a fishbowl full of water for a head, along with wearing an orange life jacket and white pants with orange stripes. His arms are also blue, but it's a mystery whether or not those are glass or just skin. Yeah, I have no idea. One of his most prominent features is his missing tooth. I wonder how he lost it. Finn's personality can be described as very extroverted and optimistic, always in the mood to talk to other toons and share his knowledge on marine life, oftentimes in a joking way. Finn is the literal embodiment of a walking pun book, always finding a way to squeeze his fishy puns into any conversation, sometimes making others laugh, but also annoying them, especially Glisten and Shrimpo. Regardless, he's actually really smart and knows a lot about fish. His stats are average, with a 4-star skill check, but 2-star stamina. So when playing as Finn, it's important to only sprint in dangerous situations, or else you may waste your stamina and run into trouble. His passive ability, Reelin, does give Finn a 33% speed boost when machines are completed for 10 seconds, which can be pretty helpful. So I'd say he's a fairly good survival toon. However, you definitely don't want to run into Twisted Finn. Instead of water, he is now filled with ichor. His legs are also completely gone, and as he moves, we can see a trail of ichor is left behind him. His eyes are red and his teeth are very sharp, with a big smile. While he isn't the fastest Twisted, being chased by him isn't the only concern, as when you complete a machine, Twisted Finn applies slow to the player for a short period of time, making you very, very slow, especially if you're already a slow toon. So you really need to check your surroundings and make sure no Twisteds are near you before popping a machine. I've been in situations where I popped the machine right when being spotted by a Twisted, and it got me killed because it was impossible to run away. I hate getting Twisted Finn. In one of Finn's dialogues, Finn says he's made for fishing, so for Human Finn, I really wanted to give him a fisher boy look. I drew his hair to look kinda shaggy, and he's wearing an orange bucket hat with a fish on it. He's wearing the same orange vest with a white shirt underneath, paired with blue and orange striped shorts. He's wearing fisher gloves as his job can get kinda messy, and I included freckles on his face. I definitely feel like Finn without freckles. A fishing pole can be seen on his back. Here is Human Finn. Here comes Connie the Ghost. Connie is one of the newer toons in Danny's world, being a light blue colored ghost wearing a white visor hat and a white vest. Her hair is also very long and slightly darker than her skin tone. Her personality can be described as laid back, but also sarcastic, moody, and somewhat deceiving, as it's stated that Connie tends to lie about her achievements. When talking to others, she has a rather nonchalant and maybe a bit rude way of speaking. Judging by her dialogue, one of her hobbies is quote-unquote haunting things, which could very well point towards her enjoying causing trouble for fun. But despite some of these negativities, she's still good to her friends and looks out for them. She's especially great friends with Gigi, as they share similar traits and interests. Connie has great stealth and extraction speed, with average stamina, but not so great skill check. And her movement speed is terrible, like Shrimpo terrible. If she's getting chased and runs out of stamina, she's basically screwed. So when you're playing as Connie, you best hope you don't encounter a Twisted Pebble. Her saving grace from this is her ability though, Hunting Escape, where Connie can turn invisible and not be seen by Twisteds for 5 seconds. And don't get me wrong, while this is very useful, you can't always rely on it to save you, since it has a 50-second cooldown. So you still gotta be super careful when playing as Connie. Honestly, I've never actually played as Connie, but I'm not sure if I'd want to, because again, she's as slow as Shrimpo. Her ability is really the only reason I'd want to get her, and at that point, I'd rather be a fast character with slower extraction speed. But if you're really good at the game, she definitely isn't a bad toon. Twisted Connie is an uncommon Twisted, crying ichor with red eyes and crooked eyelashes. She's frowning with sharp teeth, probably because Toodles took a bite of her hat. Her hair is longer than before, and some parts are covered in ichor, as well as her hands. At first though, she appears in a transparent blue state, not harming players but just wandering the map, looking for machines to possess. If a player tries to extract a possessed machine, Connie will jump out and attack you, which you cannot avoid. You can tell if a machine's possessed by spotting the handle wiggling or the red light flashing blue and making noises, so it's pretty easy to avoid. And I've actually never been attacked by Connie before. Me and my friends joke that when we have Roger and Connie, it's basically a free floor, cause Connie doesn't do anything. In my opinion, she looks the most human compared to all the other toons. She basically is a human aside from her tail. Because she's so laid back, I drew Connie quite literally in a laid back pose. And of course, I kept her original white hat, but I did put her hair up in a ponytail that swirled at the end to resemble her ghost tail. She's wearing teal blue eyeshadow, and I turned her vest into a long sleeved crop top, which has the sleeves rolled up midway. Her mini skirt and socks are also teal blue. This design is super simple, but I think it suits Connie. I imagine in her past human life, she probably worked at Wendy's and didn't listen to her boss. Anyways, here is human Connie.
Listen, you pay monthly fees for a streaming app, and a music app, and a fitness app, and more money for a bunch of other apps? That really adds up. So why not get YouTube Premium for just $100?
It's human Connie. Next up is Louie. Louie the Balloon is another toon that released not too long ago alongside Connie. He appears as a light yellow balloon with purple and green animal ears and cheeks, along with a balloon tail and polka dot shirt. Louie is a very happy and friendly toon. As his introduction card reads, Louie is part of a 3-toon circus act. Cheerful and bright, this toon lives to entertain others. So this means in the future, we may actually get to see his circus friends as new toons, which I'm super excited for. When he gets hit, his head slightly deflates, which is so funny to me. Like, his head gets so small. They're so goofy and I love them. Louie is overall a very great toon, having average stats with good skill check and somewhat low stealth. But what really makes Louie special is their passive ability, Heart of Helium. With this ability, each time Louie loses a heart, his movement speed increases by 20%. This means at 1 heart, Louie is a 5-star speed toon. What's even crazier is that Louie is actually faster than Pebble at 1 heart. Pebble's walk speed is 20, and his sprint is 30. Meanwhile, Louie at 1 heart has 21 walk speed and 35 sprint. This is crazy. I never expected us to get a toon as fast as Pebble. Never mind even faster. This makes Louie not only a great all-rounder, but an even greater distractor, and his low stealth definitely helps with that role. Unlike Pebble, he doesn't have an ability to take off aggro, so when distracting as Louie, it's best to have air horns. Obviously, the downside is that being at 1 heart all the time is really risky. So if you want to distract as a Louie and survive a long time, you gotta be pretty good at the job. I'd say that Louie is perfect for a backup distractor. He can choose to be an extractor at first, and if the current distractor dies, he can take over. So yeah, I think Louie is a great toon for basically everything. Twisted Louie is no longer cheerful, appearing with his eyes now red and a spiky tooth frown, with ichor dripping from his mouth. His balloon head is now floating, connected by a string. A massive ichor can be seen inside where his head once was. While he is a common Twisted, unlike every other common Twisted, his attention span and detection range are above average, making him the most annoying common Twisted. Still, he's pretty easy to avoid. Also, I've seen a lot of people call Twisted Louie ugly, but hey, he is a goofy guy, so it makes sense his Twisted also looks goofy. Stop bullying my boy. On a real note, I love Louie and he's easily one of my favorite toons. For his human design, I drew him with a choppy, messy hairstyle and still included his balloon ears, cause it's not Louie without them. By the way, I thought he was supposed to be a bunny, but I see everyone calling him a dog. Leave your thoughts in the comments. He's wearing that same polka dot shirt paired with oversized purple and green arm warmers. Yes guys, I love drawing oversized sleeves. Also, it pairs with his silliness. I also thought these overall shorts suit him well. Here is human Louie. Last but not least on this list, we've got V. Also being one of the 6 main toons, V is a light green TV with antennas on top, with one of them being crooked. V also has a retractable microphone tail. She's very confident in herself and likes to speak and think logically, which makes sense because she's literally a TV. V is very blunt and honest, frequently coming off as very unamused in many of her interactions with the other toons, oftentimes cutting conversations short or making snide remarks. She's also best known for her game show, with many of the toons being a fan of it. Even though her attitude may come off as harsh at times, V cares for others and is also good friends with Astro, seeming to always worry about him. However, it's made clear that V is not on good terms with Dandy, as heavily suggested by these dialogues. This is also the case for some other mains. I wonder what happened. V has exceptional extraction speed and skill check, but poor stealth and movement speed, which is why it's extra helpful to have a distractor with V on the team, so she can focus on getting machines done quickly. quickly. And in my opinion, V has some of the most useful abilities out of any toon, with her first ability, Mic Check, allowing her to highlight all Twisteds on the floor for 5 seconds. This has seriously saved me so much trouble, especially in blackouts. Camera Hijack, her second ability, highlights unfinished machines around the map, making completing floors even quicker. On the other hand, her Twisted form is nightmare fuel. Twisted V is very tall, just like many other main Twisteds, with what seems to be an enraged expression. Her torso is now split apart with ichor inside, her feet also covered in ichor, and her antennas are drooping. The mic tail is now visible. You'll know Twisted V is on your floor not only from her clinky footsteps, but also the advertisements, the ads. Even the ad block cannot stop Twisted V. We all hate these pop-ups, man. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've been on a machine, and then I get V's pop-ups and miss a skill check, and then V is right around the corner. And it doesn't help that she can hear failed skill checks from literally anywhere on the map. When V is chasing a player, slow will be applied, making getting away from her extra hard, especially if you're a super slow toon to begin with. While her detection range and attention span are high, at least she's not fast, though she seems fast when she applies slow. Fun fact, Twisted V actually used to have a different Twisted concept design, and honestly, I don't know which one I like more. Comment below which design you think is better. I gotta say, I had so much fun with this drawing. I wanted Human V to really look like a game show host, just like how she is as a toon. Starting with the outfit, she's wearing a light green suit jacket, along with that big bow tie in the middle. Below that, she's wearing some cyber-styled black pants. I included these pixel bar designs down the sides, since V is electronic after all. I knew I wanted her hair to resemble the shape of her TV head, so her hair is more rectangular shaped and more straight. She's wearing bright green eyeshadow, and I also included some green blush on her cheeks, which I think looks super cool. Here is Human V. First up, we're drawing the newest toon, Yatta. Yatta is a piñata that's yellow, pink, and blue. Literally my favorite colors. She has 2 big spikes on her head, topped off with colorful ribbons, and also has colorful ribbon hair. She also has several strands that act as her tail, and she has a cute smile with spiky teeth. She's a great all-rounder toon, with 4 movement and 5 extraction speed. Her stamina and stealth are low, but if you're a skilled player, that shouldn't be a problem. And anyone who does get her must be decent at the game, considering in order to buy Yatta, you need 15 toons. I definitely say she's one of the best toons, and for sure the best all-rounder. Her ability, Piñata Party, drops random candy items when getting hit and when completing machines. Also, when she dies, she literally explodes into a pile of candy. That's so cool. Her counterpart, Twisted Yatta, is another common Twisted, appearing with ichor now on her spikes, hair, tail, and hands. Her eyes are red and her smile is much wider, showing more fangs than before. Instead of using her legs, she now uses her tails to walk and chase you, which looks really freaky, especially that face.
Who cares, Sona? She's just another common Twisted.
Wrong! While commons are usually pretty slow, she is the most dangerous in the common category, being the only one to have above average speed. Other than that though, she isn't too bad, but in terms of design, she's definitely the scariest common. Her personality is described as super energetic and hyper. She's very jittery and hates keeping still, very similar to a little kid who's had too much candy. And what's also cool is that Yatta is part of the same 3-toon circus as Louie, having the role of an acrobat. I wonder if she does tricks with her tail. Fans have wondered if Yatta is supposed to be a piñata donkey, but Quell actually debunked this, revealing Yatta is based off of the traditional 7-spike piñata, which is a cultural meaning of breaking free from sin and temptation. So it's very likely Yatta is Hispanic. Out of all the toons, Yatta's design is my favorite. It has so many cute details and the colors are perfect. For her human design, I wanted her outfit to be very fun and colorful. Because Yatta is supposed to be an acrobat in a circus, I made her costume represent that. She's holding acrobatic ribbons to do tricks with, and I was sure to make her costume stand out a lot. I had so much fun adding all the details, and honestly, this is one of my favorite toons that I've drawn so far. Here is Human Yatta. Next up is Sprout. Sprout was one of the 6 main toons in Dandy's world, being a red strawberry boy with a pink and white scarf. The leaves on his head resemble hair, and he also has freckles on his face. Sprout has good stats, with 5-star stamina and 4-star movement speed, making him great for distracting or quickly getting out of dangerous situations. His extraction and skill check are below average, but hey, at least you can get to machines quickly if you do want to extract. Sprout's ability, Baked Sweets, allows him to heal an injured toon at the cost of 100 tapes per heal, making him an amazing support character. And his passive ability, lets Sprout see where every toon is and their health. He's described as very blunt and overprotective, but it's because he really cares about his friends, especially his best friend Cosmo, and they love baking together. Twisted Sprout, like all the other main Twisteds, appears vastly different. Along with being the tallest main Twisted, his scarf is now sentient, being spiked at the end and now covered in ichor, along with most of his body being overcome by it, including his arm, which is now massive with giant claws. The leaves on his head have sprouted even longer, with another leaf now being on his back. Sprout cries ichor with one visible red eye, as the rest of his face is covered. It's also confirmed that Twisted Sprout and Twisted Cosmo have matching ichor patterns. Many fans theorize Sprout and Cosmo were holding hands before they became fully twisted, which would explain their arms. This is super sad to think about and really shows us just how much they care for each other. While he is confirmed to be the slowest main Twisted in the game, he does have a high attention span. When he spots you, black tendrils are summoned from the ground and attacks any toon who stands on it for too long. This can also make distracting Sprout in a loop annoying, as the tendrils will stay in your pathway for some time. I've been caught off guard a couple times. Still, he's the easiest main Twisted to deal with, at least in my experience. Obviously, I drew Human Sprout holding some strawberry cupcakes he made. Well, they were supposed to be cupcakes, but they look like... Actually, I don't know. What even are those? He's wearing a simple cute red baker outfit, and of course I kept that scarf. His hair is green with a ponytail, and I layered his hair at the top like his leaves. Lastly, on his arm he's wearing a band with a strawberry. Here is Human Sprout. Coming up is Brightney. Brightney is a rose red lamp with a lampstand for a torso. She has white cheeks on her face and a white trim on the top of her lampshade, as well as white arms and red rose legs. Brightney is a very smart toon and problem solver. She also loves reading books and runs her own book club for the other toons. Her stats are above average, with 4-star stamina and extraction speed, making her a very good extractor, and that extra stamina can help her in tricky situations. However, her stealth is 1, which can be very annoying to deal with, as Twisteds spot her very easily. This can also get in the way of distractors if she gets too close while they're distracting. Her ability Nightlight allows Brightney to highlight all Twisteds on the map in blackouts for 8 seconds, which is very useful. And while it's not listed as an ability, she also glows in blackouts. I really wish her ability was useful in more than just blackouts, because it would give me more of a reason to play her. I know Brightney gets a lot of hate due to her stealth, but overall she is a good toon. Twisted Brightney is an uncommon Twisted, appearing with ichor now covering most of her head and one of her red eyes. Ichor can also be seen on her hand and both feet, and along with that her light bulb is now glowing bright red. Her attention span and detection range are above average, making it harder to get away from her. What's worse is that her special ability increases the chance of blackout on any floor where she appears, and no one likes blackouts. On the other hand, because her light is so bright, you're able to see where she is most of the time on the map, so you almost always know when she's coming, which gives you time to hide. So avoiding her is very easy. Something I found super funny about Brightney's design is if you look underneath her head, it's literally a light bulb. I know it makes sense, but I found it so funny. Like, if the lamp was removed, she would look like this. For Human Brightney, I knew I wanted to give her cute nerdy vibes since she's super into books and is very smart. Her hair is styled as a cute bob cut, similar to the shape of her lamp, and I turned that white trim into a cute beret hat. Of course, I gave her a book bag to hold her books for the book club, and her torso shape really reminded me of a dress. So she's wearing an overall dress with a cute vest, and I topped her off with some glasses. Here is Human Brightney. Last but not least, we're drawing Razzle and Dazzle, 2 toons in 1. Razzle and Dazzle appear as both comedy and tragedy masks, with Razzle being the white mask and Dazzle being the gray one. Their facial expressions are opposite, showing their opposing personalities. Their neck has a ribbon-like scarf, along with a black shirt and two-toned skin. Razzle is a very social and friendly toon, while Dazzle is more gloomy and tends to be negative rather than positive most of the time. But even though they're opposites, they're both kind to each other and respect each other's differences. Their stats are average, having 3 stars on everything, making them a good all-rounder toon. But what really makes them stand out is their ability, Comedy Tragedy, which has them switch between stats, having higher movement speed on odd-numbered floors and higher extraction speed on even-numbered floors. With their skill check and extraction speed, Dazzle is the 2nd fastest toon at extraction, without trinkets. And same with Razzle being one of the best distractors depending on the floor number. I rarely see people play as Razzle Dazzle, but I hope to see more soon. Twisted Razzle and Dazzle is another uncommon Twisted. Their 2 mask heads now being cut in half with ichor in the middle. Razzle has a very sinister smile, while Dazzle Dazzle can be seen crying, both with red eyes. Their scarf is now tied to a weight on the ground, and Ichor can be seen on their hands. However, this is a very special uncommon Twisted, as they have two modes. Just like Twisted Glisten, in their passive state, you'll see them sleeping on the ground, surrounded by a circle of ribbons, rendering them harmless at first. But you must be careful, as running inside this circle will trigger Razzle and Dazzle to awaken and attack. Just like Twisted Roger, Razzle and Dazzle are stationary, so they can't chase you. And honestly, thank God, their running animation is terrifying. But you can still walk in their circle and be just fine, just no sprinting. They're mostly a problem for new players who don't know any better. So if you do random runs, be sure to let everyone know not to run in the circle. Nothing sucks more than when you're doing a machine that's in the circle and someone else triggers it. I remember when I was a noob and I ran in their circle, everyone started screaming at me. It's unknown who tied them to the weight on the ground so that they can't walk. However, considering that Twisted Glisten likely tied his own hands together to not hurt his friends, there is a very big possibility that Razzle and Dazzle did the same before going completely insane. But who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments. While I do love every single character design in Dandy's world, Razzle and Dazzle has always really stood out to me, and I think the concept is so cool. It keeps their human form fairly simple, and mostly focused on displaying their different personalities. Razzle is very happy and waving, while Dazzle is not so thrilled and would rather go to his room and watch anime while eating Cheetos. I did my best to resemble their mask shape with the hair, and honestly, I think it turned out pretty cool. It was a little difficult at first to make their heads look right together, as I've never drawn conjoined twins before, but I'm very happy with the result. Here is human Razzle and Dazzle. First up is Coco. Coco was one of the 4 new Easter tunes in Dandy's world, appearing as a light brown chocolate bunny with long floppy ears tied up to look like a ponytail. She has white neck fluff and a chocolate drizzle on her face topped off with a cute heart-shaped nose. Coco can be described as very sweet and kind, as well as super energetic. It's shown in many of her dialogues with others, as she likes helping other tunes and truly cares for her friends. She may help others too much though, with Eggson and Flight showing concern for her. Coco seems to have a very complicated relationship with Bassie, as both of their dialogues end with Bassie only pushing Coco away, despite Coco being nice to her. This has confused a lot of Dandy's World fans, but this is actually because of a really dark secret, which we'll talk more about later when I draw Bassie. There's some really deep lore with these new tunes. She's a great tune with 4-star speed and stealth, with not so great extraction and stamina. So I'd say these stats could make for a great distractor and survival tune. Her active ability allows Coco to place down bonbon candy for anyone to pick up, granting 50% extraction speed boost and 25% movement speed boost for 5 seconds. I really want to eat that. Twisted Coco is a rare type of Twisted, appearing now with Ichor covering her legs, hands, and ears. One of her red eyes is half closed and also leaking Ichor. Kinda looks like she got punched in the face. While she may seem slow at first, don't be fooled. The moment she spots you, she hops towards you very fast. She's even faster than Toodles, making her currently the 3rd fastest Twisted, not including Bobette. So if you're a slower tune like V or Connie, definitely avoid her as much as possible. Luckily, she's got a super short attention span, so you can get her off you easily once you find something to hide behind. Honestly, Coco has got to be one of the cutest tunes I've ever seen, and I love her so much. Not to mention, her trinket is very stylish and I want to eat it. Coco always talks about how much she loves bonbons, so she's eating one. For her hairstyle, I turned those ears into a long split ponytail, and her white hairband reminded me of whipped cream, so I drew it as a whipped cream themed scrunchie. In Coco's idol animation, she strokes her ears like hair. It's so cute, and I'd imagine she would love collecting scrunchies, so she's also wearing some as bracelets. She's wearing a plaid overall dress with a white top underneath. I think she turned out super adorable. Here is human Coco.